What is good, YouTube? Katana here. Now, today, I got another build video, and honestly, this will most likely be the last one before my very final one, which is my Magplar, so my main. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little update. Truthfully, the reason why I'm saying this might be the last one before the final one is for the fact that the other three classes that I haven't posted yet, which is Stamcrow, Stamsork, and MAGDEN. The only reason why I feel very inclined not to post those builds is just for the fact that I've either already posted that build on my channel already, like I already posted it literally for this patch just for a different class, or the fact that the build won't work for everyone. So when I post these builds and I make them and I'm testing them, I think very heavily, I don't know if other content creators do this or not, but I think really heavily it's not just on how I like to play, but also like, could this work for most other people, not just, you know, veteran players or more experienced players? Can this also work for newer players and work well for them? And so I don't post all the time the most broken builds you could use, but I try to post the most effective and well-balanced builds you can use that are pretty easy to attain most of the sets for those builds, if that makes any sense. So if you guys really want to see the other classes before I drop my Magplar build, you guys could just drop a comment down below saying, I want to see the MAGDEN, I want to see Stamcrow, or I want to see Stamsork. If you want to see all three, then you want to see all three. But for now, this will be the second to last build video for this patch. Now, let's look at the unbuffed stats. They're not too bad. Honestly, you might be saying, hey, that max health is pretty low. Most of the time, it is not going to be that. It's going to go up because every time you heal yourself on a Warden, your health goes up. So typically, that will always be your health. It's 19.2. As long as you keep your buffs up and your heals up, your health will pretty much always be like that. The boon that I am using is the Mage, and I am a Breton. Now, into the consumables, we have Sugar Skulls. Obviously, they're my favorite food to use for most mag tunes. Try food with health recovery, so pretty good. Again, my favorite pots, tri-pots. You could use any kind of pots you want. Probably the best in slot pots to use for MAGDEN, especially if you use the skills that I use most of the time, most likely be immovables, but it's completely up to you. Now into the setup itself, we have the Master Lightning on the front bar. Yeah, I know it's not perfected. I did not feel inclined to go back into Vet DSA where the content didn't change at all and refarm it. So obviously this build is not completely min-maxed, but you could easily have the perfected Master Lightning staff and it'd be even better. Back bar is the VMA Resto. And basically the Master Lightning staff, if you look at it, it reduces the cost of Clench and gives you more spell damage. VMA Resto, every time you critically heal, you get a little bit of mag back. The weapon damage enchant infused. You could have this powered or defending if you really want to. It's just MAGDEN has really strong heals, so I feel like I don't really need to, especially with the way I have my CP set up. I feel like I really don't need to, but it's completely up to you. I have the shock damage enchant, again for that minor vulnerability. I am using 2-piece Pirate Skeleton as my monster. Everything's in pen on this build, by the way. Instead of Pirate Skeleton, if you really don't want to use it, the reason why I use Pirate Skeleton specifically on this class, like you could use it on a Magplar, you could use it on a Macro. I just didn't really want to. But classes with really strong healing, you could use Pirate Skeleton for the fact that, yeah, you get Major Defile, but it's not too bad all the time. Especially if you have cleanses and things like that. So a MAGDEN and a Magplar really have like cleanses and strong heals, so you'd be okay. But a substitute monster you could use is Engine Guardian or One Piece Dami House. And again, I've been reading the comments, so I know. One Piece Swarm Mother. Again, this is why I didn't say this before, is specifically for the fact that I typically don't use my Swarm Mother because it's invigorating. But you could easily wear it. And then, if not any of those, you could just wear 1/1 armor. So instead of having Pirate Skeleton 2-piece, you could just have like shoot it on the shoulder, and then boom, you get more armor. So the other set that I am using is Necropotence. So every time you have a pet up, your mag is increased. And try to lift all the big pieces. And then on the jewelry is all Ancient Grace, 2 recovery glyphs. I mean enchantments and glyphs, and 1 spell damage. And then as for skills go, skills on a Magden, there are a lot of Magden skills and a lot of things you could swap out. This is specifically open world wise. This is what I would typically use. Right here, Living Trellis, honestly, is a flex spot. You could put Budding Seeds. You could also put Shimmering Shield. Or you could put Race Against Time. Or if you're a vampire, you could put Elusive Mist. I just personally don't want to be a vampire on my Magden. That is completely up to you. And if you're already a vampire and you feel comfortable with it, then you may go ahead and just put on Elusive Mist. Now, the reason why I keep Arctic Blast on my bar is because, as you can see, I don't really have a CC like that. And is it the most reliable CC? Obviously not. But when I know someone CC'd, I pressure them like crazy, and most of the time they die. As a back bar ult, you could just put on Temporal Guard instead of Northern Storm. Or you could quite literally, for your front bar, just switch out Meteor for the bear. And every time you're about to ult, you just go swap to your back bar, click Northern Storm, go back to your front bar, and just keep attacking. The reason why I would put bear on the front bar is, again, the passive that I'm going to show you guys right here. Increase your damage done for each animal companion ability slotted. So as you can see, I have 4 slotted, so that's an 8% increased damage done. So that's really just kind of squeezing out a little bit more damage, as much damage as you want. But I personally prefer to play it like this, honestly, because, you know, Meteor on my front bar. So if I really wanted to even squeeze out more max mag, you know, having Ice Comment, and then if I really just ult with Northern Storm, boom, even more max mag, more damage, more sustain, yada yada yada. Now for dueling, honestly, you just put on Ellie Drain. But also, another thing that I'm gonna put out there, you don't have to just use the VMA Resto. I don't have the other Resto with me, but a Potentate's Resto or a Potentate's Ice Staff works perfectly fine. The only thing is that you would have to take out from Trifocus so that you don't get your mag eaten up because you're blocking with your Ice Staff. If that makes any sense. But in a duel, it depends how AIDS you want to be. I would put on Ice Staff typically, swap out Living Trellis for Ellie Drain, and then that's it. You go crazy. I could, you know, go AIDS and just put bear on both bars, and then boom, bear people down with all this other stuff. And the way bear works, which is very, very strong, is that not only is it a little line of sight that you get in a fight, but it also works as an execute. So the time you would ult with the bear is at execute. Now, let me swap back my abilities and show you guys what everything looks like typically in open world. Now, let me swap this back. The stats buffed up. Now, let's see. So that is the front bar. As you can see, I pretty much almost hit 50k max mag. If I had Undaunted, I would easily be 50k. I have a very comfortable spot with my max health. You might be thinking that mag recovery is a little low, but Betty Nutch gives a decent amount of mag recovery, and then on top of that, my spell damage gets buffed because of Betty Netch. So as long as you keep Betty Netch up, which honestly is what you're supposed to do anyways, as long as you keep it up, Necro is procced, and you just go dummy. Now, let's go into CP, the final thing to this video. You can pause it at any time. And again, this is what I would use typically for everything. Again, when it comes down to this blue tree, the reason why I have it set up like this, you could easily change it so you don't have so much into Master at Arms, Elemental Expert, Spell Erosion, and things like that, and put into Bless for more heals. But the only reason why I don't have into Thom, truthfully, I already looked at it. I would waste my gold to show you guys that it works, but you could just, I'll just test it for you guys. I'll show you guys. Quite literally, it does not help your beetles as much as you think. So right here, it says 15.4, right? It's completely unbuffed. Nothing's happening. It's my front bar. If I go ahead and change it, so Master at Arms is, let's say, 23%. Bring this down maybe a percentage. Spell Erosion, bring it down a little bit. I think 26 is the correct number. Anyways, it's an okay number. So let's see. That's 11% into Thom, right? Now, remember what I said. We had like 15.4 tooltip on beetles. Now it's like 15.3. So it just went down. And so that's why I say you don't necessarily need Thom on a Magden. It's not as great as you think, unless you do run your build to be, appropriate to use with Thom. But beetles alone does not scale with Thom. If anything, it brings it down. But it is what it is. It's up to you. Now, this is the rest. Pause at any time. I have into quick recovery and not Bastion because I like to rely more on my heals on my Magden rather than just my shields. My shield is kind of like the very, if I'm really about to die and I really need something to cover my health a little bit, my shield kind of saves my ass. But my heals is what's really my bread and butter. And honestly, on a Magden, you could run no shields even in light, but that's a little bit more advanced, so it's all up to you. Now, I hope you guys liked the video. Like, comment if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and again, if you want to see Stam Sork, Stam Crow, and or Mag DK before I drop my final build video, which is my Magplar, comment down below saying you want to see it. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day.